challenges arising from the audience. So, in every rhetoric, there's always challenges specifically arising from the audience. And so, first off, there are two common errors in thinking about audiences. The first one being assuming that most audiences, whether it's classmates or friends or other colleagues, are just like themselves with the same beliefs and opinions as them. But everyone differs, everyone has different opinions, experiences, religious beliefs, values, overall just goals, life goals, and all audiences need really proper explanation, an effort to see the importance and significance of a certain issue and the purpose. So that's the first common error. And the second one being that just assuming that the audience are just monsters and will jump at them and discredit their messages right away. And so just from these two errors you can see assuming is overall just bad, but it's important to have the mindset of thinking that these audience members are just like you, but not entirely the same, not identical, because of course no one has the same beliefs or opinions, and not everyone may have the same beliefs or opinions, but they still have needs and fears similar. Again, maybe not identical, but similar. Some common values, and most of the time an audience can share our experience, their experience, your experience, and come to understand a different point of view. And so moving on to the actual audience as a whole, there are actually 4 types of audiences. The first one being empirical, which is the immediate audience, and these are the ones that are exposed to the rhetorical act. The second one being the target audience. This one's the most responsive, and this is the ideal audience at whom the act is aimed at. And then we also have the agents of change, also known as the VIPs, and this VIP audience is the audience who have the capacity to do as the writer wishes. And then we have the created audience, which is the role that the audience is invited to play by the writer. And so those are the audiences. And now there are also some common kinds of audience-related rhetorical challenges. And these include inattention, which this can be due to an audience insulated from exposure, misinterpretation and misperception, and this can be due to any type of stereotyping or distortion, a lack of motivation, kind of self-explanatory, but no salience, and inertia. You probably heard this in physics, but inertia is basically the tendency of an object to continue doing whatever it has been doing. So if it's resting, it continued to rest. If it was moving, it continued to move unless disturbed by an outside force, and etc. And this inertia challenge is just basically having to do with having that resistance to change or being powerless. And so yeah, those are some of the challenges that can arise from the audience. And so moving on to the 2 articles, or not 2 articles, a couple articles. So in Sable's article, he basically goes over specifically iPods, but he also mentions other portable music devices and how they're only promoting basically isolation and preventing us from actually communicating with each other, bonding with each other. And one thing that he states is that these white earbuds are only separating us and really preventing that connection. And it's kind of like drowning out all the outside world. And so he's basically targeting a younger generation who are primarily using this technology with their iPhones, their earbuds, all that. And in Postman's essay, he actually goes over the development of technology, and he references the story of Thamus to just further elaborate that technology has completely consumed us, and it's become us, it's became everything we think about, everything we are interested in, and he's basically telling us that we shouldn't let it engulf us, and we should have rather more control of it. And I think he's targeting society as a whole today because we all know and use and depend on technology a lot more than we should. And yeah. And in Shirky's essay, he basically emphasizes cognitive surplus throughout his whole essay and how technology, especially television, which he mentions in his essay, and how it's affected it. And basically, he's targeting an entire audience who is not aware of this cognitive surplus, including me, to then be able to deploy it to make their time be more productive or innovative. And then in Blair's essay, she actually talks about dating apps and how it can be a lot more unkind and unwise than actually like spontaneous and fun. And so she states that it actually becomes more of like a virtual marketplace where people are starting to see other people as products and less as humans. Just simply using an app to swipe left or right on people you like or don't like. And just the casual aspect of like meeting up and starting conversations like that just takes away the chance to really divert your full undivided attention on one person to really form an intimate connection. And so, yeah, she's mostly targeting an audience of online dating app users. She references apps such as Tinder, Grindr, Hinge, etc. So, yeah.